Once a giant, always a giant. For me, it's only a giant.
Is Evan Neal finally a good player? What's going on YouTube, Diggy546? I got to take a look at his tape from the last game, and I'll say he had a solid game. I wouldn't say it was an elite game, a spectacular game, but I think he held his own. Didn't give up any sacks, no real disaster plays, and when he got beat, he did a decent job at recovering. So he's right here, and this is a perfect example of him getting beat on this second move, this second effort from 93, and he's just able to get around and get his hands back on him. This next play, we just get Evan Neal just dropping back into his stance and just seeing that he doesn't really have anybody that he needs to take care of blocking wise. So he just puts 98 on the ground. Just comes back over, sit down, boy. Just puts him down right on the ground there. Love to see it. Finding work, getting this guy out of the club. Now this next play is an area where Evan has not had any issues, or for the most part hasn't had issues in his career, and that's in the run game, moving people out of the way. And take a look at 73. Watch him move this guy completely out of the club, opening up that run game. All right, so this is probably a rep that I just want to take another look at from Evan Neal. And he has to block this edge here. He did a pretty good job against this edge who's pretty speedy. Not like he's a dominant edge rusher or someone that we really have to be worried about, but he is a speedy edge rusher. And Evan Neal did pretty good, but on this rep, he let him get the edge. And he let him get the edge because of that fake move inside. That false step inside from the edge rusher here. You're going to see right here, that gets him. Because Evan Neal does a good job of getting outside. And I just want Evan Neal to do this consistently. I want him to drop back to right here. And as he drops there, he's going to be able to use this left hand to punch. So if someone tries to spin inside, just use that left hand to punch, reset, and get your hands back on him. Because when he tries to play the speed game, the complete mirror game, that becomes very difficult for him to do. That's how he kind of got discombobulated right there as he's trying to shadow the guy, and that's just not his game. I mean, let's see if I can find another guy. I don't really see it, but some guys are able to kind of kick step, cut back in and cut back out. Evan Neal isn't really able to do that. His feet aren't good enough. His balance isn't good enough to be able to be that elite pass pro where he just is just moving around a bunch. So he's got to just be able to get to his spot, anchor in, and then just have that strong inside hand, which I think he can eventually have. Because here you're giving up a quarterback pressure. So he got a lot of help from the tight end. He got a lot of help from GVR. And I'm not going to blame him for it. I'm not going to fault him from having help because we've seen a lot of tackles wearing this Giants uniform get help and look disastrous, including Evan Neal. So he's going to get help here from Theo Johnson, and he's just going to finish the job, do exactly what he's supposed to do. I mean, this is all we've wanted from him. Take a look from this angle. He's going to get that initial chip, and he's able to take that and turn that into a solid rep. And this play from Evan Neal, 73 right here, is the perfect example of what I was just talking about as far as getting to that spot. And then if he tries to counter inside, use your strength, get your hands on him, and don't just don't let him back inside. And this is exactly what Evan Neal does right here. Watch him get to his spot. He tries to go inside, and he shat on him, and he can't get around. Take a look from this angle. He's going to use his hands. He's going to use that arm length. He's going to get to his spot, not worry about too much, and you got a good rep. That is a great rep. Pass rep wise, pass blocking wise, this is a great rep. Now you might have gotten away with a hands to the face a little bit, but I'm cool. I mean, use the long arms, got to him first, took the fight to him, and did not let him get inside. And take a look at this inside arm. Watch that inside arm when he tries to come inside. Pause. Watch that inside arm. So this is more double team stuff, run game stuff. 73 is lined up right on the left hash. Can't miss him. He's the biggest offensive lineman on the field. So you're just going to see him double team here in the run game, get some movement, give the running back a place to go. Here we go. Same thing, same play. And you see he's clearly opening up a hole there. So we've gotten to a point where Evan Neal isn't a complete embarrassment in the pass game. And when you put basically a 3-tech against him, he's able to perform well. So he's going to just really get into this hand fighting game, and his foot speed is finally to a point without that ankle injury that he's able to just, easily stay in front of these guys who shouldn't be able to get around him. Take a look here. Just uses the arms, really relaxed, really comfortable. Gets to him first. Punches, 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 and there's no pressure at all. All right, I want to take another look at 73, Evan Neal right here. And he is just going to open up another hole for Tyrone Tracy in this running game. So just take a look. He's going to get right downfield and just open up a hole. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. The guy is a weapon in the run game. If he can be serviceable in the pass game, him in the run game, he moves people. When he gets hands on people, they move. Now, would I like to see him a little bit lower? Would I like to see his hands a little bit more inside? Sure. But guess what? His hands are inside and he does have leverage. So it's not perfect. But when you're as big as him, I mean, it's hard to get lower than that. And it's easier to move people when you aren't that low. And look at this hole that Evan Neal has opened up. Look at this hole. So right here, 73 again, the man on the left hash is going to get some help from the tight end, and he's just going to just kind of get this edge player into a mini car crash almost. He's just going to knock some sense into him. Kind of off balance here. Just a nice strong punch to just kind of knock him out of the play. And knock that other guy out of the play who was up in the air. That's kind of like bowling right there. Let's take a look from here. Boom. And like literally, I don't see that much. I don't see that too much. We got him really bowling with the edge player. All right, so he's putting together a good game at this point, and then we get old Evan Neal showing up here. And all I want from Evan Neal is just don't stop moving your feet. Just don't stop moving your feet. There's no reason to wait for this guy. You've been able to be aggressive the entire game of just basically taking the fight to him. So I don't want him getting to this point and just stopping. There's no point in stopping your feet there and you let him get around you. Now, of course, he had help there. He had the running back. He had GVR. But if he just takes this kick step all the way back, there's not going to be an issue. There's not going to be an issue at all. So let's look at it from here. 73 is going to stop a little bit early, but he gets some help. And then also, I mean, look at Daniel Jones. He's clean. All right, so I need some quicker hands on this play. Evan Neal is going to kind of have his hands down. Not prepared for the fight here. If you take a look at Illuminor on the other side, he has his hands down too, but he's going to get his hands up a lot quicker than Evan Neal can. And he's got his hands down and he just lets the guy get in his chest, take him off balance. And luckily he gets, I think, some help here from GVR, who had a heck of a game, man. I mean, this is what I call help. That's exactly what I call help because Evan Neal needed it. So take a look here. 73. Just has to get to him sooner, be more aggressive with the hands, but GVR bails him out. So for this next play, Evan Neal on the right of your screen is just going to do something that people aren't really going to think about, not really going to talk about, and that's just block the inside man. How many times were you going to have this blitz coming from here and you're going to have this guy coming this way? How many times are we going to be in a situation where Giants offensive linemen are trying to block this guy all the way out here and I'm connecting? I'm drawing a triangle at this point. But how many times have we seen this guy try to block this blitzer and let this guy have open access to our quarterback? Well, this time Evan Neal actually follows what fundamentals say and blocks the inside man. Really simple stuff. And it wasn't the linebacker. It was actually a DB. But you all get what I'm saying. He does not hesitate. He picks a man inside, blocks him. And that way your quarterback can make a play. Because he's expecting you to take the inside person. He's expecting you to block that inside guy. So when you do that, you let your quarterback know, okay, I've got to miss the outside guy. And we get a positive play here. All right, so Evan Neal is back in the starting lineup. Who knows how long it'll last? I mean, Illuminor has been amazing at tackle for most of the year for us. We got Andrew Thomas, an all-pro tackle, so who knows where his spot will be. Maybe it'll be at the spot next to him. Maybe it'll be at where Greg Van Roten is. We don't know because Luminor is probably going to be back next year. Andrew Thomas is definitely going to be back. Runyon at left guard is going to be crucial, and JMS is going to be center. So maybe that right guard spot will be open, but we don't know. But if he can continue to put together good games at tackle, at the very least, we have a swing tackle for the next year under contract. And if not, maybe he can see what he can do at guard. He's good in the run game. He's getting better in the pass game. He's got to get a lot better with his hands for him to play guard in the NFL. But it was encouraging to see him have a good game. So you all let me know what you're thinking of Evan Neal. And if you're interested in Daniel Jones' last stand, check this video out here.